Cool people doing cool shit. Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
I'm on a committee to help create a story archive for the Chicago AIDS Garden, and I'm kind of in charge of that right now. So I'm trying to get people to submit stories for an archive from the beginning of AIDS until now. I call it an AIDS quilt made out of words. And if people want to pay tribute to a person, an organization, an event, hopefully this will be there for perpetuity. Right now it's online. And the idea for me is a good story translates to something bigger than just that story. And if you want to learn about life in a pandemic, which is topical, or stigma and disease, or government response to disease, or how people act in the face of adversity, good and bad. I mean, there's so many threads that you could get from these stories other than just specifically HIV/AIDS. Hopefully, this will be a really good resource for people on all of those things.
Speaking of that, what was it like to be, I would imagine, during the AIDS crisis, you were a young man in your early 20s,
Yeah.
probably? What was that time like? Because I think I was a junior high kid, so I knew about it on the news, but it was an abstract thing.
Yeah, as I was kind of coming out in my early 20s, AIDS was also kind of appearing. And I heard about it the first time from a coworker whose sister had a blood transfusion giving birth, and she got AIDS and passed away. So that was the first I heard of it. And I came out playing on a gay softball team, and I have a story that's actually in the AIDS Garden archive about my team. My first softball team had 12 players plus a coach, and I described some of the players. And by the late 90s, around 2000, I decided to try to find these players, and out of the 13 people, the 12 players plus the coach, only 4 of us were still living. And although AIDS wasn't as prevalent in Chicago as many other places, it still just devastated a community and my network. By the time I was 30, I'd lost far more friends than my parents combined. And that's really when I stopped saying my nightly prayers, thinking of all the names, because there were way too many people that I knew that had passed away. I also, when I finished graduate school, I decided I wanted to do volunteer work and give back. And I ended up volunteering at a residential care facility for HIV-affected babies and young children. So that really just made everything so real. And that I have so many just vivid memories of that time and some of these kids and that experience. There's so much fear of getting sick, fear of dying. Every time I have a cough or a cold or flu or something, I was sure that I had AIDS and I was going to die soon. And then when COVID first came to the US, I remember I was at LaGuardia Airport flying back, it was before lockdown, and I just had this inner panic. I was sure that I was dying of COVID. And I thought, I don't have any symptoms. Why do I think I'm dying if I don't have symptoms? I thought, oh, this is muscle memory from the days of AIDS. I'm just flashing back in my fear-based inner body, inner mind.